Hey folks, Nev here from One Deal Away, and I wanted to do a very special video for all of my teachers, professors, colleagues from the education industry of now we're all being asked to teach online, and how in the world do we do that? So I wanted to do a quick video to kind of share some of my experiences of kind of how this looks like and how it's a bit different. Look, I get it, it's a bit scary, and I know that the schools and the governments and officials and everybody's trying to make the best decision for everybody. It's not an easy job to ask a faculty member or a teacher to now switch everything that they have done in the classroom to online. And the reason that I feel like I could be potentially qualified to help you answer some of those questions is because I have well over 20 years of experience teaching in colleges. So yes, I have worked as an instructor. I've never been a full-fledged professor. I have been an administrator. I still am involved, very much involved with higher education. And so at some point a few years back, I decided that I wanted to create my own online educational company where I'm helping other people talk about money and wealth and investing and all kinds of stuff. And I used to do that inside the classroom, so I used to do it live, and switching to online was really challenging. So I wanted to share with you a few tips and techniques that have helped me sort of make the switch. So I'm gonna be doing some explanation. So right here, I'm kind of reaching out, you can't see it. I have my little jar of dry erase markers. I have sort of a makeshift dry erase board. Because this is something that I do consistently and all the time, I decided that I needed to paint one of my walls with dry erase paint. So that's kind of what you're seeing over here. And wanted to sort of do the whole, like, how do you teach it? And I know that a lot of the online teaching components, people sit behind the computer, and you can do that as well using the computer screen. That's a little bit different thing, and I'm going to do another video for you of kind of how I do that and what systems I use to help me with that stuff. Actually, I can share exactly what I use right now. So I will use Zoom most of the time to do that, and my understanding is Zoom and Google Hangouts works very much similar way, are doing something very special for the schools by offering it free. I don't know if Zoom is, but I just got the news that Google is doing that. I think they call it Google Teams now, but it's kind of like Hangouts, where you're able to have a video like this. You can share the screen, and I will share with you exactly what I do when it comes to switching on the computer. But a lot of times I like to do this face-to-face teaching thing, and so this is kind of what I have. So what I have in front of me, which is basically the camera, is actually my iPhone. So I have my phone, I turn the camera on, I put it on record, and I basically step back here where you can see me, and then I will use the markers that I have and use the board to explain. So I very much operate the same way I would operate inside the classroom. The weird part is that when you're just recording this and then posting it, is that you don't get that interaction piece, right? So you can't go back and find out if they actually understood what you meant to say, if your energy is high up. So you can get a little bit weird when you have this just camera staring at you. And right now it's just me, and there's a kitty actually taking a nap while I'm recording this for you. So part of it is, don't look at the screen. Make sure you look at the camera. So remember where the camera is, because eye contact is very, very important. The second thing is, the hard part can be you're looking at the phone, you're like, I'm supposed to deliver a message? Like, what in the world? How do I do that? So first thing first, right? Let's do this. Let's do the actual sort of how the whole teaching would work. So first thing first is look at camera. All right? Very important concept to understand. Second thing is keep energy, okay, up. All right, so you want to keep your energy up. And here's kind of what I end up doing. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the times when I'm teaching, I'm actually imagining my students, because I get to know them, I get to know who they are, and likely because you have interacted with them for at least portion of the year so far, you know who's in your class. So start to imagine and literally visualize that your class is right there in front of you, because you know what? They are. They're just on the other side of the screen. You can't really see them, but you can imagine. Start thinking through your head of what are the questions that they are asking and how are they wanting you to explain it. So the third piece is going to be, all right, imagine an actual human or humans that are going to be watching this because they are. So that's the key component to remember. I know we're using a little bit of technology and it might be a little bit weird. You are there basically talking to the camera. There's nobody else to give you feedback, nobody to watch, and you sort of feel a little bit silly. And that's okay. It's perfectly fine to say, you know, hi everybody, my name is Nev. I feel really awkward and silly to do this. I've never done this before, but we're gonna make the best of it. You know, decision was made and I'm sure it was made with the best of the reasons. But now let's go in and make sure that you get what you need to get out of the school year so that you can be successful. And of course, you can change how you communicate based off of who you're teaching. You know, I used to teach kindergartens and the first graders. I used to teach them English, so I used to volunteer and do that stuff as well. And my approach with them, of course, is going to be very different than when I'm teaching with my college-age students, right? That like 17, 18 till about 22, 23. And it's going to be very different than when I am talking to adults that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. However, I still allow for myself to be me, to allow my energy to come through, to be who I am anyways, and really give that sort of feel of care and love that we all have as teachers in hearts. So here are the components. Let's recap. All right, ready? So you want to look at the camera. That's number one, okay? You want to speak up because you want to make sure that they can actually hear you, all right? You want to keep your energy up because as you start going like this and you keep, your student is going to fall asleep. And you know what? When they're in a class, you can go and like tap on a table, call them out, or do something, you know, whatever it is the teachers do to keep their students' energy up. You don't have that opportunity to do that with online. So you have to get very creative. You have to get very energized. Sometimes I'll actually get myself pumped up. Maybe I'll do some jumping jacks. Maybe I'll get very excited about a particular topic that I'm teaching. And hopefully you are equally as excited about a topic that you're teaching so that that topic alone gets you very, very excited. Okay, so make sure that your energy has to stay up. Otherwise, you will lose your audience. Now, don't yell at them all the time. Don't be going all over the place. Feel free to be yourself. I know that the first few classes are going to feel really weird, but eventually it's going to become a new normal, as they say. And you're going to get to become a bit more of you, and they're going to be a bit more of them, and it's all going to work out just fine. Finally, imagine, instead of staring at the camera and saying, oh my gosh, I'm staring at myself and my stuff is staring back at me, especially if you're doing this off of a phone device with the camera, right? If you don't have professional camera, that's fine. And, you know, just imagine that student being there and, you know, teach them. So a lot of times when I am teaching stuff, I actually imagine either my best friend or I imagine, you know, my nephew, because he too attends my classes. And, you know, I imagine them and I try to explain it in the way that they will understand it. Feel free to ask for comments at the end, okay? So ask for questions and comments, and that's not copy mark in this particular instance, it's just a comment section, right? So feel free to ask for questions and comments, especially if you're not able to interact with them like through Google Teams or through Zoom or through some other device that the school is providing you, or if you have to come up with your own, that's okay. I'm gonna hook you up. I'll show you what I do. If you're not doing it live, but if you're recording and then posting on some sort of website, whether that's you know, Blackboard of some sorts or something else that folks are using. I don't know who's using what these days. Ask questions and then, you know, give the email. Hopefully they have that by this point. Make sure you answer those. And if you find that you didn't explain something, if one person asks for it, assume that there might be other people who also have the same question. So what I end up doing is I end up doing a secondary video to say, all right, here are the questions that I have, and I will list down the questions and then answer them. I hope that this is helpful to you, and I will do a few more videos. Like I said, I'm going to do one video where I'm going to show you how I do this on a desktop, so if I'm not just recording and posting, but when I do it live. And then I'll also do one more video to talk a little bit about video editing, just in case you feel a little bit self-conscious and you feel like, I can't do the whole thing, I gotta trim this, I gotta get a bit more comfortable with what's happening. So I hope this is helpful to you. I am beyond blessed and excited if this is helpful to you. Please do let me know in the comments. Remember, let me know in the comments. And if you have any specific questions that I can potentially help answer, I would be delighted to do that. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.